little known fact, I just started talking about it, and I don't know why I didn't bring it up before. Is in all the years that Yuko and I have invested in buying real estate, wholesaling, we have to double close things, and also flipping, we have never put a penny into anything, zero money out of pocket. And I know that sounds like a bunch of crap, but it's absolutely true. If you watch me or know me, you know I'm not full of crap. I'm brutally honest about everything.
It's great about you. Yeah.
And we literally never put a penny into a project. So how we raise private money is by talking to individuals that have money that is not producing any income for them. And we have, over the years, raised, 12 to $14 million, somewhere in that range.
Hey Mark, thank you for joining me on our Thought Leader Spotlight series. I'm your host, Matt Camp, head of partnerships with DealMachine, and on these we really like to shine a spotlight on industry experts like yourself to hear your inspiring stories and really educate our audience on how you see the world evolving. So today, really excited to welcome on recurring guest Mark McMahon. You may have seen him on our live streams before. Fantastic guy to work with. I know you've had over 25 plus years as a contractor, 16 years as a flipper and landlord in Southern California. And then you and your wife have flipped over 400 homes too. So you are clearly know what you're talking about in that realm. And then outside of that, you're a fantastic educator between your social media. You've got courses, your Instagram's, always active. I know you have Campfire Real Estate going on. So you've got quite a few things going on. Mark, appreciate you spending time with us.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah. And to start off, I know I gave a little bit of background right there with your bio, but can you maybe talk a little bit more about how you got into real estate, your first deals? Just curious on, how you ended up here.
Yeah. It wasn't on purpose. My goal, like so many younger people these days, wasn't to get into real estate investing. It was just to build houses. And that kind of all fell apart in 2007, 2008. And I was not prepared at all for that. We had the typical Southern California or United States lifestyle. We had the toy hauler and the motorcycles and the house and the business, and we did pretty well, but we didn't put any money away. And when that recession hit, we were not ready in any way, shape, or form. And we just got hit upside the head. So we bought our first rental property in 2016. Timing was not great. We ended up short selling that 2018, I think, and I'm sorry, 2008.
2008, yeah.
And didn't buy another rental property till probably late 2009, and that's when the ball got rolling again from our first failed attempt at it. Went through a lot of hell. I'm not going to pull any punches on that. We lost everything during that 2007, 2008 time period. Cars and self-esteem and everything was gone. Seriously, left our lives. And we weren't looking at starting to get back into real estate investing, but someone invited me to a meeting. I sat down next to a guy. He was flipping mobile homes. We were seriously broke. My wife had gone back to Japan just to get away from everything with our youngest, and I didn't know what to do. And I don't know how the stars aligned. I was in the right place at the right time. I met the right people. I signed Yuko up for this course on how to wholesale houses. And in the first 2 months after I asked her to come back from Japan, and after I told her that I borrowed money from my mom to take that wholesaling course, or actually rather, I signed her up to take it. And the rest is history.
Wow.
Massive highs, massive lows as we grew our business. We learned a lot the hard way over the 13, 14 years we've been doing this full time. And, here we are today. I think the biggest thing I can say is that we've learned how not to do the real estate business, which is almost as important as learning how to do the real estate business. and we become experts at not making the same mistakes. So right now we're going into a period of time, and I know we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
We're going into a period of time where I believe it's going to be somewhat of a repeat, not to the same magnitude as 2008, but we're going through a repeat of that, which is it's a cycle in real estate investing and real estate and the economy, and it's a normal, healthy thing what we're going through. There goes Lucy. Sorry, but there's going to be some pain, and people need to be ready for that. Uh, and people that have gone through it before, you want to make sure you listen to them. You really, really want to make sure and listen to them. There's been a really strong stream of people that have been very successful the last 4 or 5 years, and that haven't gone through this. So I think it's important to get both perspectives.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where I was going to start too. Is I know, like you said, I mean, there are some indicators that it looks like things are slowing down in some markets for sure. It's, who knows exactly where we're headed, but I was curious, having been through, such a drastic, crash really in 2079, and that lasted for years there. What are the main key lessons that you learned through that experience? Maybe share a couple with our audience that haven't been through that are newbies, that maybe have experienced some success, or maybe they're looking to get into real estate. How would you approach that?
I'm so glad you asked, because I have some advice. I'm going to close my door real quick,
Yeah.
because otherwise it's going to get noisy here.
Go for it.
So the things that I learned, so many, when you learn to trust your gut a little bit. I think most people go off of what other people say, and I understand that. I mean, everybody's here looking for advice, and I get that. But you need to confirm the advice, whether it's from me or anybody else. You need to be aware of what the reality is versus what other people's agenda is, because everybody's got an agenda out there. We're all on social media because of one thing or another. Either we want to raise money, we want deals, we have education. There's a lot of different things that we have, those of us that are on social media a lot. So you need to really, number one, be careful with not. I'm not going to say who you listen to, but it is important who you listen to. But listen to what they're saying and confirm it. Don't just blindly follow what people are saying. It's really important, because I've seen people lose everything that way. But the biggest thing I think is to sit back and look at what's happening. There's going to be a lot of people out there that are saying that, hey, look, this is something that happened right when COVID hit. We experienced this big dip, and then it shot up again. And yeah, it did. And you know what? I lost. I mean, I didn't lose money during that particular period of time, but I had lost opportunity because I didn't dive right in. Why didn't I dive right in? Because it didn't feel right. Was it the right thing to do? Probably so. For me, it was.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people that absolutely killed it during that time, but that was luck. That was not skill. That was not timing the market. That was not anything. That was just sheer gambling, and it paid off for a lot of people, and my hat is off to them. But having said that, it was also risky. It was very risky. So there are people out there that are young. I mean, you're a pretty young guy, right? There are people out there that can handle that kind of stuff. Some people don't want to deal with that. So we teach more of a slow and steady, 10-year plan rather than, make millions in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, because that type of plan it's not sustainable, and it doesn't prepare you for these kinds of times where the opportunities are absolutely amazing. So just overall, be really, really careful who and what you listen to, and confirm it. Just confirm it. Just because your favorite guy says, go all in on Bitcoin, go all in on Ethereum, go all in on flipping right now, go all in on this, doesn't mean it's necessarily a good idea. Your gut's going to tell you what to do. Don't rely so much on what other people say, and that's including me. That's including me. But verify.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good tip in life in general. But
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think it bears repeating. I've said it before, guys. I've made all those mistakes. I've made the mistakes of listening to other people and not verifying. Now, there are people out there that I absolutely trust their opinions, um, and we all tend to kind of hang out together offline, so to speak. And that group, my group, Campfire Real Estate, we're all kind of the same mind. A bunch of let's just say older guys that have been doing this for a long time,
That's
and yeah, you've just got to be careful, be very wary, and just realize that this is if you take your time and build this business, it'll be around forever. Sometimes when we rush things, they don't last.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think love your approach where you have a longer term time horizon of saying, don't get it's not a get rich quick scheme here. It's like, hey, thinking like you said, 10-year plus horizons there. It,
Oh yeah.
with that in mind, and with what you see coming, how are you kind of pivoting strategy? How are you guys teaching people, especially for the newbies who are wanting to get into real estate now? Like, how are you kind of
Mhm.
advising them?
Right now is it's not we're not in a holding pattern by any stretch. It's just like you said, it's a change in strategy. So right now, we're finishing up 3 flips, and uh, probably we would flip more houses if the deal was spectacular. It would have to be spectacular though, and we're putting longer hold times on those projects. But I'm not like all on fire to flip right now. Our focus right now is on buy and hold, and yeah, I know the prices have not really seen much of a dip. To be honest with you, in Southern California, market times have changed. The amount of offers we're getting has changed, and it looks kind of. I think it looks kind of like a dip right now because people aren't getting over asking, so everybody's used to pricing above market. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. But in the next 6 months, we're going to see prices drop. Whether it's substantially or not, nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball.
Right.
And by the way, if anybody emphatically says, "Hey, this is exactly what's going to happen," move
Yes.
along because nobody really knows. I'm giving my best guesses based on my experience in the past, knowing that this is a cycle that we have to go through. Uh, but yeah, so the way we're pivoting right now is we're looking more at off-market deals, and we are firing up. We when the market's hot, we're getting our deals from MLS and cold outreach, right? But MLS is going to become less effective right now, and the cold outreach is going to become. And by cold outreach, we mean using apps like DealMachine and using that to get leads to come in. So driving for dollars and using the skip tracing so that you can find out who owns the house and so many other things. Matt's gone over so many times what DealMachine does, but that's kind of the pivot right now. We're looking for creative deals. We're looking for people that are in distress right now but haven't been foreclosed on, or people that have rental properties that they want to get out of. Because I think it's important to remember that the psychology behind investing for the majority of people in the United States is they're going to buy high and sell low. That's just
It's the emotional. Yeah.
unfortunate.
Hmm.
Yeah, if they've not they've a lot of people have dabbled into real estate investing in this last 5 years, and a lot of those people are going to leave the market just like a lot of real estate agents are, and that's where the deals are going to be. Not necessarily tired landlords; it's clueless landlords, people that have bought a lot of property and now find themselves slightly underwater with not as much cash flow.
Yep. Yeah.
So I see that happening.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, one thing that I know you speak on often and are truly a pro at is the private money side. And I think that's extremely
Mhm.
relevant when it comes to the buy and hold strategy and how you're advising people to think longer term. Can you maybe give our audience a
Mhm.
little bit of a crash course and playbook on, private money, how to find it, how to raise it, your pitch in days like this?
For
Would
sure,
love to hear
for sure. And shameless plug. We are adding private money finally to our deal finders
that. Thanks.
course
There you
that
go.
we've got,
We can
and
link to that.
who better to teach it than myself and my wife, who started this crazy journey 14 years ago raising
Hmm.
private money. So what is private money? Private money, there's three different kinds of lending. There's institutional, there's hard money, and there's private money. There's a lot of other ways to raise money, but those are the three main places to get money. So institutional would be banks, not savings and loans, dating myself, banks, credit unions, things like that, where you just go in and you put a percentage down and qualify and get a loan. And it's a long process, and it's very useful, and I'll explain that in a minute. But when you're trying to buy rental properties, sometimes that's not the fastest way to do it. And you need to be very nimble when it comes to investing. The second one is hard money. Now, hard money is kind of a hybrid of institutional lending and private money. So, hard money lenders will typically go after insurance companies, private individuals, and they'll offer a percentage rate for you to bring your money into their bank, and then they will loan that money out at a little bit higher percentage with points. Um, uh, the negative to that is there's slight qualifying, and they're not going to loan 100% of what you need. Neither is a bank. You're going to have to put money into the deal. You're going to have skin in the game. So that can be anywhere from 10, 20, 30%. But hard money will fund the majority of the purchase of the house and oftentimes the rehab, which is nice, but not every time, and especially not when you're just beginning. So, what I strongly suggest is the third option, which is private money, which is what my wife and I have done from day one. A little known fact, I just started talking about it, and I don't know why I didn't bring it up before, is in all the years that Yuko and I have invested in buying real estate, wholesaling, we have to double close things, and also flipping, we have never put a penny into anything. Zero money out of pocket. And I know that sounds like a bunch of crap, but it's absolutely true. If you watch me or know me, you know I'm not full of
Hmm.
crap. I'm brutally honest about
That's what's
everything
great
that
about you.
happens.
Yeah.
And we literally never put a penny into a project. So how we raise private money is by talking to individuals that have money that is not producing any income for them. And we've over the years raised, I don't know, 12, 14, 12 to $14 million, somewhere in that range. And we have that, kind of in rotation at
Hmm.
all times, whether it's in our rental properties or our flips. So right now, we are cycling out of the flips. We're not doing two or three a month anymore right now. We're just doing the spectacular deals that come along. So we're building that money up right now for buy and holds, because and even right now it's a good time to buy. There's stuff out there right now. There's good deals out there. So what you do is you're actually going to individuals, you're borrowing the money, you're giving them a deed of trust and a promissory note on the deal. So the promissory note basically spells out the terms of the loan, and the deed of trust is basically their insurance policy that they're going to get paid back. And we set that up, and we don't make payments on that until close of escrow, when we close the property, or if it's a flip, or if it's a buy and hold, we'll buy it with private money, and then we'll refinance it with institutional money, and take that private money and put it into the next rental property. It's just a fantastic way to get things done. And when you go to the bank, now you've got a finished product. You've got a house that is obviously purchased, it's rehabbed, and it's rented out, and you have a rental history. So you use the private money for 4 to 6 months and get that rental property online, and then you go to the bank and say, look, this is what I've got, this is my cash flow, and the bank will lend based on that. And typically, if you buy right, and you mentioned that earlier, buying right. If you buy right, you can generally get all your money back out. I know a lot of people, the popular term right now is the Burr method, and that's exactly what that is. But a lot of times with the Burr method, a lot of folks teach to use hard money and bank financing to do that, and that's fine too, guys. There's no wrong way to do it. There's just easier ways to do it. And once you establish your private money funnel, that is the easier way to do it. And we go into that quite deeply in our course material. Our students were asking us, when are you going to put that in? When are you going to put that in? And it was going to be something separate that we did, but we decided to put it into the Deal Finder course. So anybody that's interested in that, you can jump on the link. My link tree.
That's in your Instagram bio, right?
Yeah, in my link tree. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in getting started investing, that's a good place to start. So that's kind of the long and short of private money. We could talk about it for a week, literally. There's that much to talk about. But the long and short of it is, it's a way for guys like you, Matt, for people that to get started. And there are ways to do it and ways not to do it. And of course, that's a whole long conversation. But suffice it to say, I've got the good news is I've got YouTube videos on YouTube that talk about it at length, and Instagram you can see it.
One thing I was curious, because we do have a fair number of newbies who they're looking to do that first deal. I mean, really the mission of DealMachine in general is we want to give everyone the power of real estate investing. So that's really the lens we think through for designing our product, using it, finding these deals, going cold outreach, direct to seller. When you're in that scenario, say you've chatted with a seller, you have a deal to bring to potentially raise private money and invest. I mean, on the private money side, do you have any advice for newbies who haven't done it before, who are looking to build that credibility, looking to build trust with people? Like, what's kind of the ideal pitch and approach for them for their very first deal when it comes to private money?
It's going to be hard to begin with. But anything worth doing is, if this whole journey was easy, it wouldn't exist. Anything easy is here for a little while, and then it goes away. If you've been alive long enough, you've seen cycles, and this is like right now what we're going through is a cycle. There were a lot of things out there that made a crap load of money that aren't making money anymore, and that's just the way the cycle works. As you get near the top, all these things that shouldn't make money start making money hand over fist, and then they crash. And it's been like that since the beginning of time. And so the best advice I can give you is, again, slow and steady. But as far as raising private money, you're going to have to establish yourself. And the way we did that is by we did that wholesaling course. And what that did for us is gave us credibility, because we got a couple of deals in the first 2 months, right? So it was a 60-day cram course, and we got our first 2 deals during then, and we got our first flip.
Nice.
Why did that happen? Why did we have so much success at that time? Because we worked it. My wife and I worked it, till 3 o'clock in the morning, every single day, 7 days a week, putting in offers. And really, when someone calls me up and says, yeah, no one's accepting my offers, and I ask them how many offers they put in, it's like, I put in 7 this year and not one of them got. It's like, dude, or do that. You got to be doing that 7 to 10 offers a week, hardcore offers. You need to have enough leads to be able to actually make those offers. And if you're not, it's not going to happen. So it's just hard work. But with that comes the credibility that you need to raise private money. We actually worked with another individual who had a lot of money. Those were the first two wholesale deals we got were literally for somebody else. And we worked with them and were able to get deals with them. We got a very small slice of the deal, but we got the credibility we needed to go out to people and say, look, this is who we're working with, and this is what we're doing. And the first private money lender I had was my mom, and the second, third, fourth, fifth were people that were interested in learning real estate investing or learning about real estate investing, and they realized that they didn't really want to be investors. So once we started going down that road and talking to everybody we knew about what we were doing, everybody, um, we got people that were interested in doing something but not quite what we
Yep.
were doing, and that's where the ball starts rolling. But again, it's just massive, massive action. If you want it bad enough, it will happen. If you don't want it bad enough, then you're going to be looking at videos like this for the next 10 years and not doing
Yeah.
anything. So it doesn't have to be like that for the entire damn time, though. You're my action that I take today is far different than the amount of action I was taking, 14 years ago. During that period of time, it was 14-hour, 15-hour days, and now it's 4 to 6
Yeah.
hours a day.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, I think love the perspective that you bring in terms of being able to think a little bit longer term, and like you said, that's what we preach as well as massive action. It's even on the deal machine side, like we're a tool to save you time, do better deals and do all of that. But
Yeah.
in the end, like you still have to take the action. You still have to act on that tool and get out there and leverage it to
Mm-hmm.
make things happen. And like you said, you build momentum, and it snowballs. So uh,
Yeah, and I think, and I love your honesty about that too. It's very rare. Most people will say, look, if you use this tool, you will succeed. And that's not the case. A tool is a
mhm,
tool, right? This conversation we're having is considered a tool, right? We're giving you some information, but what you do with it is what's important. And Deal Machine is a great tool, and we use it a lot. All of our guys use it, but it is simply a tool, and it's what you
yeah,
make of it. I just like it the most because it does the most stuff for the least amount of money, and it's a viable tool. I mean, even after all these years, it's still viable on a daily basis for us. So it's kind of evergreen. A lot of apps that you get change for the worse and stop being effective. But this is just one of those things that it's guaranteed if you put the work in, it's going to happen. It is just going to happen, but the work must
yeah,
follow or must come
absolutely.
first.
So I appreciate you. I mean, this has been phenomenal, Mark. I really appreciate you coming on and educating our audience, and especially the private money side. Like that's something that I think a lot of people are very curious on, and will be, for the coming months. As things continue to
Yeah.
change. But I know you said you've got your link in your bio on Instagram. You put out a ton of great content there, so make sure to follow Mark on Instagram. Um,
Mhm.
on the way out too, can you talk a little bit about Campfire Real Estate and why you guys started it? Like, what was the need you saw that you could solve? And curious.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's our
there we
logo,
go. Looking
Campfire
good.
Real Estate. So it's myself and three other gentlemen that have been in the business. I think collectively 60, 70 years of course, it makes me cringe. Probably 60 years of investing experience. What I wanted to do is get a group of guys together that had real world experience through ups and downs. And there's a lot of people out there that match that. But I had, we've known each other for years, and we all agree on some tenants, certain tenants, and a couple of those are we want people that have been through ups and downs in this group. We want people that are a little bit older, just because that lends itself to going through the ups and downs. You need to be older to have done that, and also have the same beliefs as far as investing, which is you mentioned earlier. It takes time to do what you want to do. Um, Anything that happens fast has a stronger potential of going down. And just that's just the way of the earth. And most of us have been around long enough to have made the mistakes that a lot of people will be making during this downturn, and we would like to keep people from doing that. There's a lot of people out there that are going to be in trouble because they've got too much deal flow right now, and they've got too many deals going that they've got to finish, and they're going to suffer a little bit. But if they can stick with it, they will learn. And campfire real estate is, I guess, kind of your tool to see the reality of investing versus all the shiny fun stuff. Um, we get down in the dirt on every show, and then we talk about the upside. We talk about the downside
Mhm.
and the upside. And we've got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got a live event in September in New York City, and we'll be doing probably 4 live events a year throughout
Love
the
that.
United States.
Yeah.
Um, it's not all solidified yet, but we do have a show every Thursday on Instagram at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. Uh, it's if you just look on my Instagram, you'll see who's hosting it because I'll be on. But the four of us just trade hosting on that. But it is so real, down to earth, real world investing knowledge. It's just amazing.
Yeah,
I
it's
learn
great
stuff
stuff,
every
man.
time.
So we'll make sure we'll link to again your Instagram and then more info about Campfire Real Estate for everybody too, and make sure check that out on Thursdays. So,
Yeah,
um, well,
yeah,
awesome. Again, really appreciate your time. I know in the bio we'll also have our free resources. We've got like the Scaling Your Real Estate ebook, things like that to check out. But is
mhm.
that the best way for people to get in touch with you is through Instagram or?
Yeah. Instagram is always the best. DM me if you need anything. And another thing too is there's a link in my bio for my
Mhm.
mailing list, where I have a mail. I have a newsletter that goes out every week, and I gotta say it's probably the best newsletter out there, just because I cover a subject. I have you in and out
It's really
within
good.
2 or 3 minutes, but it's just something. It's just something that I feel strongly about for the week, and it generally 95% of the time is real estate, but
Yeah.
not every time. But it's good information from someone who's been
Yeah.
around the block. So if you guys can sign up for my newsletter, that would be amazing. I love seeing that. I want to get our open rate above 50%. Standard industry
That's
standards
sick.
about 20-22%. We're about
Nice.
43%
There we
right
go.
now. So
Subscribe and
guys, if
open
you
it
signed
usually.
up for it, get on there and look at that thing. It's
Yeah.
good
We'll love it.
information.
Well, Mark, thanks again for your time. Really enjoyed the conversation. So,
Appreciate it, Matt. And as always, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
yeah. And to everyone watching, this is Matt Camp with Deal Machine and happy deal finding.